Yeah, so I think those are the two most important steps. Like once you start taking a look at your parts, or somebody works with your parts, and you start healing your past, you're gonna notice that like good men just come into your life. Polite men who actually take your needs into account because you change those relational traumas in the past. You heal those, and your life now different. Hello, this video is for all the females who are having trouble finding a man that they love, a man that they want to spend the rest of their life with, or the next 10 years with, whatever you want, whatever you're interested in. It's for somebody who's maybe in their mid 20s and they realize that relationships are not going the way that they want them to, and they're looking to settle down a little bit. And so this video is for you, and you would not be needing this video unless there was some resistance that is stopping you from achieving what you want. And it's probably not what you think. The thing that's stopping you is not what you think. It has not much to do with you, but it is something that you need to know. So, for you to understand why you cannot find a man who will commit and why you will not commit, you will need to understand that women look for three things. They look for um, a man who is usually older, a few years older. They look for a man who makes more money than them. And they look for a man who is taller. There are always exceptions, but generally, this is what women look for. Now, if you're a woman and you're watching this, you probably dated many people like this. You dated many people who fit that description, maybe even like their personality, maybe they even like you, but shit just does not work out. It just doesn't work out. And it could it could be for many reasons, but I'm going to give you some of the common ones and probably something that you are experiencing. Um, One of the reasons is if you're a woman and you're educated, which you're probably watching this if you are educated, um, because you believe that you have control over your reality. You believe that you deserve certain things, and you have probably been taught that you could that to be successful, to work hard, all those things, and the right man will come to you, but it's not happening. So there is certain resistance there, and one of the reasons is, how do I break this to you? You don't need a man anymore in this society. In the past, men were required for survival, and you had certain pressures placed on you by your family and by society to do everything that a man can do. So if you could do everything that a man can do, and now you're earning more than men, because right now women in the from age 22 to 30, women are earning more if they're college educated. So a lot of women who are having this problem, like finding a man, finding the perfect man, they're college educated, or the ones who are questioning what is going on here, who are watching this video. A lot of them are probably going to be college educated. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would assume that. Um, and that's just that's an issue. It's an issue because a part of you believes that you have to be self-sufficient. A part of you believes that you don't need a man. And another part of you feels like it does, feels like it wants the emotional support, or because you get emotional support from your female friends, but a male emotional support is like a little different. They're not going to tell you everything that you want to hear. Another thing is you financial security. But you can only feel financially secure, not only, but you will most likely feel financially secure if he makes more than you. And there is an insecurity that those come with when a male makes less. And usually women will tolerate it, absolutely. But they will tolerate it with the thought that in the future he will earn more because it feels safer. It doesn't mean it's necessary, but it does feel, for a majority of women, it does feel safer when the man makes more than she does. But women are making more than men at the moment, except the extremes. Like there's more female PhD students, there's more men in jail, and like women are just dominating the field right now. More women are graduating high school, more women are graduating college. Um, they are doing very well. Women get higher grades than generally. They get higher grades than men. So one of the reasons that you're having trouble is scarcity. There's a scarcity of men, because a lot of men just are not fulfilling these basic requirements. Yeah, they might be a little older or taller, but they might not be making more than you. They might be making more than you, but their social skills are not there because men are just not as well attuned socially. They're not attuned to the other person, as well as women are. So you're having these like tech nerds who just don't understand emotionally what the girl's going through, and they can't connect. And then what happens is you meet a guy who has a lot of money, who's tall, who's handsome, has six pack abs, and he's very emotionally attuned to you. And then you're dating him, and you realize he cheated on you like a week ago, and it's because he can, because there's just no valid men out there. There's very few men who possess all these characteristics. There's a scarcity of these men, so they just cheat, or they're married. Maybe not every man, not every guy cheats. There's a lot of men, there's a lot of religious men, not, even non-religious, but religion it does play a factor. Like they're just not going to cheat. They will they will get they will date you, they will get married, and one of their values is just be honest, integrity, and they're not going to cheat, but they're probably going to be married. And it's like you have to sort through all of these men who every man who has all the things you want, they're either taken or they will probably cheat. And then you're just left with all the undesirables. So that's what makes it difficult. And and the other pattern is when a woman reaches the age of 30, around like, 28, 29, 30, she really starts thinking about getting married and having kids. It's a biological thing a lot. And Jordan Peterson talks about this. Think whatever you want about him, but at the age of 30, um, all the female lawyers who are just dominating the field, they just leave because um, my cat. Uh, they just leave because they're thinking, why am I working 80 hours a day when I want something different. So there is a change that happens, but it's the fight that happens. There's a fight between my cat keeps trying to get on my table. There's a fight between I want to be this boss woman. I don't need to have kids. I don't need to be in a relationship. I could be independent. I could be on my own. And um, a part of me feels like this is biological, and it would feel good to have kids. It would feel good to take care of somebody. It would feel good to have like a mutual relationship with someone. And that voice is probably weaker than the other one. And it's because, again, if you're watching, this is not for all women. If you're watching this, um, you're probably, again, a little bit more educated. So you had a lot of pressure placed on you. And you felt emotionally invalidated also um, in your childhood, if you could recall that. We all were, to be honest. I think it's a little different for like, the the girl who graduated university, did very well, was very smart, had many options in dating. Um, those kind of women, they did have pressure placed on them. And when somebody tells you that what you're feeling is not real and it's not significant, that makes it difficult to have relationships. It makes it difficult to like know when the guy that you're dating is lying to you or being honest with you because you're kind of you're not sure about the reality, um, but two, you also don't believe that you deserve those good things. You haven't had the experience of a loving win-win relationship where your needs were taken into account, where somebody was like, hey, you're feeling bad about this. Okay, so we're just not going to do that. We'll wait a little bit and we'll see what happens. Instead, you probably got something like, you don't have a choice, you have to do this. And that can be damaging, especially when forming relationships. Emotional invalidation, I think, should be added to the list of ACE scores. I think it should be there. Um, and if you're emotionally validated, it might be difficult to form those strong relationship bonds. So what's happening is you're split. You have parts of you that need to be independent because that's what family wanted from you, that's what society wanted from you. And because you're a good obedient girl, you're gonna do that. And then so basically you had to become a man to fit certain standards. So it's like that's why it's so difficult to find a man because you became, oh, this isn't not necessarily you, but this is happening with a lot of females now. They became the man that that they want to attract. So it's like if you want to start attracting certain men and bringing the men into your life that you want, um, you have to become more feminine. But then that voice is like, but if I'm more feminine, then I'm weak, which is not true. It is not true. There are feminine men out there. They're just not that masculine. I'm pretty feminine, um, and it sucks. It's more difficult to to thrive in certain places of work, and yeah, you have to adapt. And society has not structured itself to fit the needs of people who are more feminine. Feminine doesn't mean female. Like I wish we could use any other word that you want, but just for the sake of this argument, feminine is somebody who's more nurturing, somebody who is more empathetic, as opposed to masculinity, which is just like leading, doing whatever needs to be done, and disregarding the feelings of others to get that shit done. There are very masculine women, and there are very feminine men. If you're watching this, you're most likely split. There's a part of you that is very feminine and a part of you that is masculine. And the question is, who are you really? There are some women who are naturally masculine. The agreeableness is generally the same, generally even, but like the most disagreeable people are men, the most agreeable, the majority of the most agreeable people tend to be women. Um, so my guess is that yeah, there's a split, and you're most likely somebody who is naturally more feminine, somebody who is naturally more nurturing, but somebody may have told you that you need to be strong, independent, you don't need a man, none of that. And that's actually very good. It's a good thing to have in your repertoire. It's important to know that like if you are with a man and he's unfaithful and you shouldn't put up with that shit and you should leave. But it's like, is it fair for you to like risk everything to be in a relationship, to be feminine, not try to like get educated, and then like you're left with nothing? No. But it's also not good if you're unconsciously controlled by these patterns, by these thought patterns that were given to you by society and by your family, and um, and you're just like you're in protection the whole time. Maybe even it wasn't even given to you by your family. Maybe just early on in your life, you saw that men had all the respect and they made all the money and women didn't. So, in order for me to feel safe, I had to become more masculine. Um, the more masculine you become, like just the less attractive you become to men. Um, People are attracted to different things. Men are attracted to women because they're not men. And the same thing for women, generally. So it's something to consider that you have these conflicting parts within you that have different needs. And a lot of it could be caused by trauma. That's one of the reasons. And you could make the argument that it's just all men are bad. Um, but there are good men. You just need to attract those men. And if there's a part of you that unconsciously hates masculinity, you cannot attract those men because a lot of these good men are, they're hard workers, masculine. You might say that you don't want that in your life, but a part of you does. Um, Somebody who could like just hold down the fort, somebody who just very grounded, somebody who could absorb whatever emotions come at them. Um, yeah, those are good qualities to have around your life. And if you have this conflict within you, then you can't have it. So you have to settle the conflict. How do I deal with this nature, this innate nature of like me being feminine? How do I stop? shunning that away? How do I stop like resisting that? How do I stop making that the bad guy, or how do I stop making it evil or weak? How do I stop considering that weak? It's a superpower. Being feminine is a superpower. It's um it gives you intuition. It allows you to know how somebody else is feeling. It's what cures the world. It's what heals the world. And for some reason, women are being taught that it's bad. You could have the femininity, and you could also have aspects that could be masculine. But the thing that's most, I think that the binding thing is creating strong relationships by listening, negotiating, understanding, which is something that none of us were taught. We were, none of our emotions were validated. So now, whenever a man does something bad, we're just like, men are evil, men are bad, all men are this, all men are garbage. I'd rather be with a bear than with a man. But it's like, we're traumatized, the men are traumatized, the women are traumatized. And it's like, and we're all just being triggered all the time. So it's like the more that we heal the past, the more that we see that stable relationships are easier and better. So if you're watching this, I would like for you to just think about this. Like, is there a part of you that might be a little bit more feminine? Is there a part of you that was taught that it's important to work hard, get good grades, um, and maybe just like strive for things and be a boss woman? And try to ask yourself, like, who am I really? Am I the masculine part that strives for things, or am I the feminine part that is very empathetic? And it could be a mix of both. Um, Again, men have both traits, women have both traits. It's like how much of those traits would you is part of your personality? Because we're taught not to be ourselves. Who are you? What is your actual personality, and what personality are you trying to show to the world? That's something I would like for you to question. If So that's the first thing I'd like for you to do. Just question like how masculine am I and how feminine am I, and be honest with yourself. And also ask yourself, do I have these protector parts that are keeping me safe? Do I have these protector parts that are making me be somebody that I'm not? Now, if you take a look at that, that's the first step. Now, if you want to continue, you want to find a man. The second step is like you most likely need therapy, and you need somebody who's not a shit psychologist. Like, um, be careful. I would like for you to find a psychologist who understands parts works. Parts. I would like for you to find a psychologist who understands parts work. They could work with like your different parts. So you could find somebody who is an IFST specialist, internal family systems therapy, and a therapist who's willing to go with you in your past. You tell the therapist, hey, I think something happened in my past, and I would like to explore that. Because a lot of therapists are just going to stay with you in the present, but the present is a reflection of everything that happened to you in your past when you were under the age of 7. Whatever happened under the age of like 7 or 8, that usually reflects in your current life. So if you felt unsafe in that age, you're going to feel unsafe later. If you had a tyrant berating you, if you had a tyrant berating you and making you feel small and insignificant, then you're gonna grow up, and then you're gonna feel like all men are these just like monsters, and you're gonna feel like you can't feel safe around them. It's not that all men are that way. It's that you're seeing a reflection of what happened in your childhood. So the first step is take a look at your parts. Second step, um, trauma healing, and the third step is to be honest with yourself about like what you do actually want um, in a man. Yeah, so I think those are the two most important steps. Like once you start taking a look at your parts, or somebody works with your parts, and you start healing your past, you're gonna notice that like good men just come into your life. Polite men who actually take your needs into account because you change those relational traumas in the past. You heal those, and your life now differs. If you want to find a relationship without going into the past, then it would take a lot of willpower, take a lot of force. Um, you would have to get like the best like dating specialist or something. Like you would, it could work, but there's gonna be too much friction, and it's something that could be helped with. It's not an issue. There are definitely relationship coaches who can help with that, but in the end, like you're gonna find that partner, and everything's amazing for the first year, and after that, all of your unconscious just comes out and they leave. So I think taking a look into the unconscious is the number one key factor in having a relationship that works. So if you're struggling finding a man, um, it's either all men are bad or maybe we all just need individual healing. So